Hello out there in YouTube land. This is Marie F. Beardwood, and I'm with the Faculty Center for Teaching and Learning. And today, to support our Challenging Classroom series, we have Dr. Prache Kene, who's with the Department of Counseling, Educational Leadership, and School Psychology. And we have Dr. Tom Lavin, who's the director of our Counseling Center. And they're here to talk to us a little bit about the distressed student. Welcome, and thank you both.
Thanks, Marie.
Thank you, Marie.
We'll start by discussing two scenarios. The first scenario is you observe a student in your class appears disheveled, unshaven, and has stopped participating in the class. His grades and attendance have dropped. You are concerned about him, and you want to contact the counseling center or discuss the situation with your department head. Would you be violating FERPA by contacting the counseling center or reaching out to the department chair?
Here's another scenario you might run into. Suppose a student turns in a writing assignment that contains some disturbing material, maybe expressions of hopelessness or descriptions of violent behavior, maybe even some indications of paranoid thinking. You're just not sure, is this just the student trying to fulfill the requirements of the assignment, or might this be a reflection of some distressed state of mind that the student is experiencing? What do you imagine you might do?
So these scenarios are very common presentations. According to a 2011 American College Health Association survey, almost 1/3 of students reported feeling so depressed within the last 12 months that it was difficult to function, and almost half felt overwhelming anxiety. Of the approximately 20% of students who had been diagnosed or treated for a mental health condition in the past year, the most common conditions were depression, anxiety, and ADHD. During the survey, they found that more than 6% of college students had reported seriously considering suicide, and about 1% reported attempting suicide in the previous year. So the challenge for faculty members is being aware of the warning signs. What are some of the issues that indicate that the student is distressed? So some of the common indications is where you see there has been a dramatic change in the student's performance. They're withdrawing from others. They are missing classes, or is excessive tardiness. There's disruptive behavior in the classroom. They are excessively anxious when called upon in class. They are reporting problems with family members or roommates, exaggerated emotional responses. They are reporting depressed, they're feeling depressed, or they are reporting unexplained crying. There are signs that they are talking to themselves, or they're reporting strange ideas. Dramatic weight loss or gain, and they come to class intoxicated or high or smelling of alcohol or drugs. So these are just some general signs to kind of keep in mind. And then there are some warning signs that are unique to suicide risk, and they are summarized by the acronym as PATH-WARM. And that basically is, that includes things like, is the student verbalizing an ideation to end their life? Are they abusing substances? The next one is purposelessness, where is the student verbalizing a lack or loss of purpose in life, that they don't see any reason or little reason for continued living. Anger, have they expressed feelings of rage or uncontrolled anger? Have they expressed feeling trapped? There's no way to get out of the current situation. Feelings of hopelessness, where they believe that there is little reason that things will change in the future. Withdrawing from others, withdrawing from family members, friends, society. Anxiety, where the student has expressed feeling anxious, agitated, unable to relax, unable to sleep. Recklessness is where the student is acting recklessly or engaging in high-risk situation or highly risky activities without thinking about the consequences, the potential consequences of those activities. And have they demonstrated dramatic mood changes or shifts?
And Prachi, if I can jump in and just try to localize the information you're presenting. The most frequent problems students bring to the counseling center year in and year out are anxiety and stress, mood disorders, depression, bipolar disorder, and relationship issues. So those really sort of echo the statistics you reported nationally. Last year we saw 392 students for individual counseling in the counseling center, and out of those 392, 113 indicated some degree of suicidal thinking at the very beginning of their counseling experience with us. And we know from other research that more than 50% of college students nationally will acknowledge that they've had some degree of suicidal ideation at some time in their life. So suicidal ideation is not rare. It's not the exception to the rule. It really is the rule.
So that takes us to the next question. What can faculty members do to help the student? The most important thing is to talk to the student directly and express a concern. It is important to listen to the student's self-disclosure about the concerns that they have. Don't be afraid to address suicide or homicide directly with the student. And it is important to ask open-ended questions about the student's condition and encourage them to disclose their feelings or the issues that they are facing or struggling with. Respecting the student's value system, and don't be sworn to secrecy, because as a faculty member you can reach out to the counseling center and you can reach out to the department chair and help the student find assistance. Probably the most important tool faculty members have in terms of helping students with mental health issues is awareness of relevant campus resources. And Tom, can you talk about like what are some things that the counseling center can do to help a faculty member?
Well, you know, my advice is pretty simple to faculty members. It's just 3 simple steps. Engage the student that you notice some of those warning signs in. Listen to them, talk less, listen more, and respond as empathically as you can without rushing in with solutions. You know, student or faculty rather often feel unprepared or not well trained to talk to students about these kinds of concerns, and really you don't need a PhD or any special training. The language to use in talking to students is usually very simple. If we go back and circle back to some of our scenarios at the beginning, the student who was appearing disheveled, stopped participating in class, and whose grades have dropped, you know, it's something along this line. Now, Steve, I've noticed that you're not participating in class as much as you were earlier in the semester. Your grades seem to be going downhill a little bit, and you look like you're just maybe having trouble pulling yourself together for class. So I'm wondering if things are okay for you, if maybe something's going on that's making your life more difficult. And then be quiet and listen to what the student has to say. And if they do open up and share with you, or even if they don't, you can say, you know, I wonder if whatever you're going through, it might be helpful to you to go and talk with someone in our counseling center. I know we have some really excellent counselors there, and they might be able to help you sort things out a bit. As simple as that. Faculty occasionally do tell me that they suggest counseling to students, and students respond with a, no way am I going there, I'm not crazy. And what I always encourage faculty to tell students is coming to the counseling center does not mean you're crazy. The vast majority of students that we see are dealing with normal developmental situational concerns that almost all college students encounter at some point during their college career. It's also sometimes useful to remind them that counseling is very strictly confidential, not only what they're talking about to the counselor, but even the fact that they're coming is confidential, barring any extreme situations that might involve danger or risk of harm. And finally, that the counseling that we offer is totally voluntary. We do not do mandatory counseling. So I tell faculty, you know, suggest to the student that they go, try it out, see if it's helpful, and if it's not helpful, no one's going to force them to keep coming. So those are some tips for encouraging the student to seek counseling. Ultimately, you can't force a student to seek counseling. You can only encourage them and make them aware of the resources. And Prachi, I think you had some other resources you wanted to mention.
I do. So if faculty members believe that the risk is imminent, they can always call campus police, or they can call 911. And there are some other resources. There is a resource on the Counseling Center webpage, and it is a PDF called Reweaving the Safety Net, Recognizing and Responding to Troubled Students. And there's also a 1-800 number, that is 1-800-273-TALK. That is 1-800-273-8255. That is a National Suicide Prevention Lifeline.
And let us, just because I think some faculty might not know the phone number for campus police, although I always tell them they should know it, that number is 456-8201.
To wrap up this discussion, the take-home message is that faculty members should not feel it is their responsibility to counsel students with mental health issues or recommend treatment. Faculty members can observe students' behavior, listen to their self-disclosure, and refer the students to appropriate services available on campus and off campus.
And I want to totally agree and reinforce that message, Prachi, that we're not asking faculty to become therapists. On the other hand, I think it is the responsibility of faculty to recognize and try to provide, point those students in the right direction to get the help they need. You know, faculty sometimes think that their primary responsibility is to dispense information and knowledge, and that is obviously very important. But we're all educators here, and that means attending to and responding to the entire student so that they can learn. So I think it's really incumbent on faculty to recognize students who are distressed, and it is part of your job to get them connected to the resources that they need.
Right, we're not just knowledge experts. We have to consider the entire student. And my takeaway was that faculty are not alone. There are resources on campus. There's the Counseling Center. Again, that was Dr. Tom Labin of our Counseling Center here at Rhode Island College. And I'm sure Dr. Prachi Kenne would be a resource as well. She's with the Department of Counseling, Educational Leadership, and School Psychology. And I thank you both for your wisdom today. I appreciate it.